Hey everybody, quick recap of MLB Algorithm yesterday and talking about measuring its profitability in a few different ways by looking at results and comparing them to the Round Robin Parlay Calculator, which is a place where you can simulate the results and the payouts. It's interesting things you can do here. So, and we'll talk about today, by the way, which is the preliminary look that I have for Wednesday. Some games going on right now, so populate in a second. And I sorted things in a different way, and I want to explain why. So if you want to just pick a team to win and use their money line as the guide about what their payout was, you can see that yesterday the algorithm hit the top three underdogs that it picked all won in that Washington, Miami, and Toronto. I believe that's the way. I remember seeing Toronto and Washington. The Miami game was way at the bottom. Yeah, at almost no margin, and they did manage to win. So these all won. Milwaukee wins, then Kansas City loses. The Cubs blow a game and lose. Then you have a nice string of wins again here, but you do lose one of these games down here with the Dodgers. So I'm keeping multiple days in here because I want to look at this list and say, if you just bet them down the pike, right? Like you just go down here and you feed them right into the round robin calculator, how would this have worked? Like if you somehow were able to bet 15 teams and just bet the twos on it, right? Here's $100 bet. You actually made money. You made money. And then you made 83%, right? Now, you're not really going to wager on 15. That's a lot. And also you don't want to wager where there's no value. So you can see if you cut off everything that was better than minus 200, you're now left with a $66 bet on 12 teams. You made even more money, actually 113%. What if you cut everything off at minus 125 or better? Now you have 7 teams, you have a $21 bet, and you win one point. You more than double your money. Every one of these times, it was a good enough day all the way down in this order to recommend playing these as winners at these lines. It just was. So given that you can see that this is winning money for yesterday in that order, I figured let's look at that in the order today as well. Because we're looking for the best order of things. And payouts are going to be interesting. So you have the same 3 underdogs showing up. Actually, sorry, the Cubs are an underdog today, which I guess is good, right? So Miami, Washington, the Cubs, the Angels' second game where there's no line yet. Then you have Boston, Philadelphia, Toronto, St. Louis, and now you start to get into teams where the payout's not good. And it would say these games down here at minus 200 or worse, you can even stay away from all of them because the payouts are probably not going to work out in the long run, given how frequently it's baseball and somebody loses. Ohtani's going against Cincinnati. Let's say you cut it off at everything right. You call Atlanta minus 200. You've got these games here. There's 11 of them. Actually 10 because we don't have a line here. I want to remove that game almost. But anyway, let's go back and let's see what that does here. So you could show like all 15 games. We don't have results for anything except one game that's happening right now, the St. Louis game. But really, you're looking at these guys, Boston, Philadelphia, Toronto, Milwaukee, Angels. It says take Kansas City. I personally don't want to because they've just blown 2 games against Oakland. So the algorithm's missed twice hard on them. So I'll actually stay away from that. So these are 8 teams showing up here. And playing like the 2s or the 3s on these 8 teams, these lines, when the algorithm has a reasonable day, that's probably going to be a winner. Just like what happened yesterday, which was a pretty good day, but not an exceptional day. But we did beat the odds makers on 3 games by hitting these 3 underdogs up top. Because I'm looking at yesterday right now, right? So anyway, I just felt like, when the algorithm can straight up win and you can plug the numbers and plug and play right in here, I think it does help you. And I'll I'm going to just tell you this is what the algorithm presented. And so cutting this stuff off at a certain number is going to yield profitability. Is it going to be more often than not? I think yes. Because This is not abnormal. I would say that you're going to have mixed days with MLB, obviously, but when you're still hitting your games occasionally that are your underdogs. So even when some of these lose up top, if you win a lot of the other ones, you still make out. And the key is to get paid appropriately. And so wagering on teams down here, just oftentimes it just doesn't pay. So whatever your cutoff is going to be, we're going to measure where the optimal cutoff is. Because if you can see from yesterday, things were good. Then we had a couple losses, but then we recovered, and you still got to 62% ROI all the way down here at the 10th game. So that's pretty good. And then it started to fell a little, and then it really, stunk down here. Stayed at 37%. Huh? It's interesting. Yeah, it didn't move that much at these terrible lines. 525. You can see that. Yeah, it's not worth it. Look at how you win these last two games, and the cumulative ROI does not even change because it's such a low payout. So that's really the example of showing you like how it's important to cut this off. So that's what I wanted to show about MLB today. There are a lot of matchups. I'm not going to go through every game. I'm not even really going to pay attention to the games. I'm just going to play the numbers according to what the algorithm says, because that's the goal here. Is you just update it, you don't worry about it, and you make the optimal wager according to what it says, and you have an edge if you do that right. And don't like, that's the point. It's giving you an edge, because there was a reason why I picked these three teams and why they managed to, win their side of the flip of the coin on that day, and they managed to win, is that the algorithm is smart enough to catch stuff, right? So as you look at the day, it's going to be those 7 or 8 I said. And that's what we'll do. Which is, yes, somehow Washington beating the Yankees, Miami, the Cubs, Boston somehow beating Houston, Philadelphia, Toronto. Unfortunately, St. Louis already started. Milwaukee. And Ohtani seems wonderful, but the line is bad, right? So do you alter your payout to do something else? To try to have them score more runs, or Ohtani not to give up a lot of runs, or do you change your bet? I guess you can. The important thing is to get good lines on outcomes you think are going to happen. And in its most basic sense, the algorithm thinks these teams are going to win. So that's why it says take them. All right, so that's the quick update for MLB. If you want to purchase any of these algorithms from me, because there are so many, you can go to kenbraverman.com, because they're pretty much getting posted up there all the time. All right, good luck, everyone. May your picks be winning, and may the orders of this start to mean something more as we track this on a daily basis. All right, good luck.